So let's get started with Blender. We're gonna add a video. Remember, at the very beginning, we started with, let me just here start with we started with a project folder, and we kept our video, the short video about smartphone, in there. So we're gonna import this video, add movie, and from documents we're gonna go to our folder, and here it is. Matite, wait a little. So let's explore here. Relative path. In fact, keep the relative path. The reason why I asked you to keep the video in the same folder as your project folder is to make sure that we don't have any broken links to our assets. So this is a very good and best practice of using the editor with Blender. Now, replace selection. I don't have any selection to replace it. You can untick it or you can tick it. If you want the sound to be imported with the video, you can do that. And use movie frame rate. Yes, I'm going to use the movie frame rate. If you don't want to use the movie frame rate, it's okay as well. But it's a good to know what frame rate the movie was shot in if you don't know that, and so on. So make sure that this is a check, the relative path, and that this asset is stored in a project folder. Now here is the video. So this is the area that is defined, the working area that is defined. What does that mean? This means that this, I'm going to call it for now marker. So this marker is going to move all the way from here and stops over here in the defined area, and then this would be the extent of the video that will show on the preview, the rest as if it's not there. I am using the wheel on my mouse to zoom in and out, as you can see, to show you how long the video strip is, and how small this area defined for playing. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So over here is the button to play it. Please do the same. You can see that the user is looking into the application, and here it stops and then moves back again. All right, so this is it. The video is way much longer, so we need to modify the settings so that it can play the whole video. However, I would like to follow my slides for now, so I won't miss out on anything. Now, as you added the video, this is the older interface. Now at least we have little icons next to each and every one of them. So you can add a movie, an image, or a sound. I haven't focused on that, but here's movie, sound, and image. So if you want to add an image, you add it from the add menu over here. Very good. Next, we're going to talk about we talked about the importance of the relative path and all that. And this is an explanation of that. So the recommendation here is to save your Blender project in a folder and copy all the media files there for consistency. So this is what I told you earlier. Now this is what we call it a start frame. They don't have it anymore. The sound, use the movie frame. Here is an important option. You will have to match the frame rate of your video to Blender's timeline. Otherwise, you might have problems with the playback. So usually these videos are 30. I know it's about 30 because in my documentation it is shot by a smartphone. Usually it is 30 frames per second. So here you can see it is 29.9, which is 30, almost 30 frames per second. So it is consistent with the system, because over here, as you can see, these are the output properties, and the frame rate here is 29.97. What is the frame rate anyway? Frame rate is a speed, is the speed in which all frames from the video will play per second, because it says frame rate is FP, frame per second, FPS. All right, now to avoid any problems, you should match the frame rate of your video source to the Blender's internal here. The frame rate here, this is the previous interface, so all these settings were on top. Right now these settings are lined up nicely vertically, and these are the same settings. This is here, this is the output settings. In fact, now the output settings look like a printer. Back in the time it used to look like a camera. In Blender, you must go to the Blender tab in your Properties windows and look for this under Dimensions, look for the frame rate. Okay, so what happens if you don't match the frame rate? If you forgot to match the frame rate, you will experience playback issues, like related to speed, either too speedy or either too slow motion. For instance, if you have a video file using 60 frames per second and the Blender is set to 24 only, then of course it's going to be slower, because it plays originally 60 in 1 second. Now it's going to play only 24 in 1 second. So it's going to be slower and it's going to play for longer. As a result, you will see a slow motion video on your footage. So this is how you do a slow-mo. So if your frame rate, you shot it with your smartphone and you have a 30 FPS, then you can just set it up to anything shorter, smaller than 30, for example 10, and see how the speed will be slowing down. So on the other hand, you might want to use Blender to create original content for a video, such as an infographic or animation. For the cases you don't have video footage to work with, this is we're not going to cover in this course, so I'm not going to waste our time on explaining it. Now let's talk about the video container compatibility. Most of us will be working, and all of us actually, but most of the time, we all going to be working on creating videos to upload them on a video sharing platform like YouTube. So each of the data types, either audio or video that you will shoot, should be compressed. So usually a camera or video exporting software will apply some compression method to reduce the size. And you need to understand a little bit that there are different ways of compressing videos. We're going to talk about them over here. There is the lossy compression and the lossless compression. With the lossy compression, this process will try to exclude unnecessary data to save on file size, while lossy compression will try to shrink the data with no data loss. And this is the lossless. This is the most favorable, because it's not gonna have to guess which data is necessary and which data isn't necessary. It's just gonna shrink the data. And this is definitely the most favorable. So which one is the compression form, an H.264 file? This uses a lossy compression, the same that you will also find in the JPEG image file. This means that you must avoid processing the video data as much as possible, because every time you treat the data, the codec compression software will try to exclude something to shrink your file. What is codec here? Codec is basically when you're trying to compress a file to shrink its size. The compression software used for video and also for audio, we call it codec. So the codec, several options for codec. For instances, there's the H.264 method for video and AAC for audio. You will come to remember this AAC later in today's video. We're going to set up the properties, and one of the properties is the audio output. How do you want your audio output to, which format? We're going to choose the AAC because this is the favorable format for YouTube and for an MP4. Also, recommendation for your footage, video footage should be in MP4, which is on Blender, it's MPEG4. So this is the same. The MPEG4 is the same as MP4 container for your video. We call it a video container. All right. So basically, we can try the H.264 for video and the AAC for audio. And the output should be in MPEG4, which is MP4. Good? All right. Very good. So now that this is the video stripe or strip that we imported into Blender, I'd like to show you how to extend the frames. So over here, as you can see, the frames here, the start frame and the end frame are way much shorter than the actual length of the video. To do that, I'm gonna click first on the video so that I can see the number of frames, and it's at the very end. I have 1013. So I would like to extend this end frames all the way to 1013. The way to do it is to head to the window, the output properties window, and basically this is the frame start at 1 and the end is 250, but I want it to be 1000 something. You can do that by just clicking. Do you see how my cursor changes to becoming horizontal? Probably never see this in many softwares, but look at the cursor again, it is becoming horizontal. So I can just click on my mouse, hold, and move my mouse to the right to increase the frames manually. Do you see what I did? I'm just doing that. Hold and do that. Or you can double click if you know the number of frames, 1013, and hit enter. And this is it, right? Now, if you play the video, you will see the whole, the marker will move all the way to 1013. As you can see, it is sometimes lagging or slowing the video. This could happen, and I will show you a way to optimize your video preview. But for now, I want you to just make sure that you do the same as I do and be patient and watch the video all the way to the end. Make sure that you can see it all the way to the end. All right, that's it. Stop. Just want to say one thing here, that this strip, the green strip, is the audio strip. This strip is the video strip. If I take this strip on top, it will not occlude the video. You can still watch the video. And this is because audio does not occlude the video. How did I move the strip? I just clicked on it with my mouse, hold the mouse, and move the mouse to the location, to the desired location. As for now, guys, I'm gonna delete this strip of audio because it doesn't have any audio. So I'm gonna just select it by clicking on it and hit the delete button on my keyboard. And this is how you delete even the video strip. gonna, excuse me, I'm not gonna delete my video strip right now, but I deleted the audio strip, and I hope now you know how to add a video, how to delete a video, and also how to move a video around. You also learned so far today how to manipulate the start and the end frames. Let's move on. So now would like to talk about how to, what are we doing here? Adjusting the sequencer zoom and time code. Okay, we've done that. Now we untick the show seconds. It's easier. We've done it very, if you want to select multiple strips, you can just select it with the mouse. I'm just going to click my mouse anywhere over here and hold it and move it around. So this is how I select multiple strips. These I myself keep on forgetting them. I teach so many softwares. So we're going to just use the manual. Transforming video strips. Basically, you can hit the G button. So you select the video and hit the G button. So this is how you know how many frames in this video. And also, unconsciously now, I just moved the mouse. And as you can see, the video is moving as I'm moving my mouse. I personally don't like this way. I'm going to just hit escape. And I personally don't like this method, but I just wanted to let you know that this is, and look at back in the time, they used to put the frames at the very top. And over here, that was the corners. These corners are very important because if you want to shrink the video by deleting certain frames at the very end, this is how you do it. Or if you want to extend the video, yeah? So you need to activate these ends. Also, I like to use the G to find out the number of frames. Sometimes if you can't find the number of frames, you can just hit the G, the letter G on your keyboard. Okay, I don't want you to cut any videos using this method. It's very tricky. As you can see, there's way many explanations about how to do it. So we're not gonna need to use it. Embedding media to Blender files. You can get it from an external data group. All right. So in summary, you have built the base for how to use Blender and how to set it up. This is the end of this set of slides. But before I finalize this video, let's hope it's not that long. Let me just check the length of the video. Yeah, it is getting a bit long. Let me just continue, guys. So over here, this is under the output properties. You have dimensions. You need to set up your output in the correct format so that you can get it for YouTube. So the first thing is under the dimensions. You want to make sure that the start frame or frame start and frame end covers the length and extent of the files that you have. Also, the frame rate here matches the frame rate over here. If you want to take a look, for example, if you want to put it as 60, that would speed this up. Let's see how fast it will run. It's a little bit lagging, huh? But it's running faster. You see? All right. But please make sure that if you want it in the natural speed, that it matches the speed of the video. Here in the stereoscopy, we're not going to do anything. In the output, we're going to work on these formats, settings. So on the file format, how do you want your output? Do you want your output to be a video, or you want it to be a set of pictures, like screenshots, like frames? Of course, I want it to be a video. So we are going to use this, the FFmpeg video. we're not going to use any of these like pictures or whatnot. We are going to use, guys, the video. All right, so now we have the video. It should be color RGB. Let's talk about encoding. The video container matroska. We don't want matroska. We want the MP4. The MP4. So this is the video container. How about, do you remember the H.264 we were talking about? You can keep it as is, and then for the quality, always keep it high quality. You're not paying for it, so keep it as good and high quality. As for the audio, if you guys remember, if you have an audio, you can just keep it as AAC. All right, so you're adding an audio file, should be AAC. And stereo, keep it stereo. And this is it. You guys are done. This is how you set up the, I'm going to call it the atmosphere for your first video. So at movie, we learned today how to extend this frame through the under dimensions. Frame rate should be matched. Output is FFmpeg video. Take notes, please, for next time. I'm going to ask you to set up everything as we've done in this video. Container should be MP4. And over here, H.264, high quality and good. Audio always AAC. All right, guys. Until the next of today's class, I would like you to work together. There's almost, we've done almost 50 minutes now together. The class is 90 minutes, so you have a good 40 minutes. These 40 minutes is mandatory meeting. You need to meet together for a minimum of 40 minutes and finalize the upcoming assignment, which is first, the topic of your video. Second, I would like to see I'm going to call it a draft of the messages. Remember when we talked about the value proposition and all that? If this is your topic, hopefully you have a storyboard. You have a story already written. If you don't, please work on that as well together. So say, I'm going to have an outro and intro, as Nora said, 5 second each. That will leave us with a good 50 seconds. How are we going to split these 50 seconds? We have 5 students in every group. So I expect every 10 seconds to have some meaning in the video. All right? Or every 15 seconds there is a message or a meaning. So I need minimum 3 messages to be shared with our target audience, which are the potential students. Also, I want you guys to meet one of the tutors in the English Plaza. The tutors that helps you with your English, to make sure that the spelling is correct, grammar is correct, and most importantly, the language is correct, because I don't want to see broken sentences. So make sure that you have the substance, you know how to write these sentences. Be guided by the university video. There is a video over here, a copy of intro video and PR video short. Please watch these videos. This video will help you understand what is it that I want from you, and helps you with the messaging, writing the message. There's a student wrote, and I saw his or her comment last class talking about shooting with a drone. I think this is what the university has done. I wanted to get a drone, a small drone for us for this class, but ever since I started teaching an interesting content with this course, Corona has hit. Before I was teaching this course, I was teaching math for business, really. it was also a very interesting and very nice course that I was teaching. I was good at it, but then I was asked to teach this course. I still don't know why, but yeah. All right, so guys, this is it for today. I will see you on Tuesday. Please work hard and meet together. Next time, I am going to take a look at your writing, the sentences, and choose some of them for you to share with the class and see how we can make them better. Take care and enjoy the weekend.